Anybody else there? I'm just waiting on somebody else to join me. So are you there, Mary? Because I don't hear you either. Do you have yourself muted? Did you share the microphone? Oh, okay, so I've just been sitting here doing nothing. So apparently Mary's having some technical difficulties getting on. Mary says she's been yelling. I don't know, maybe if you disconnect and reconnect.
Hey! You see me now?
There you are.
I don't know. Okay, we're here, and I think there's people here too. I mean, in the audience. That's confusing, but I don't know if you're hearing you or me, well, okay? So here we go.
All right, so I'm sorry to everybody that I've just been sitting here reading, posts on Facebook while I've been waiting on Mary to join us.
I'm sorry.
So if you're out there and you wonder what in the world we were doing, that's what was going on.
Mary was going to speak, which I didn't hear, and telling everybody we're on record, and I'm apologizing, so I don't even know if you've heard me apologizing, but I apologize again. So now we could start, Dawn. I'm hoping Donna joins up, and maybe someone else will pop on, maybe Nilifer, but we could talk about our chapters. So this is Mary Guariglia from New York, and I'm one of the authors in The Colors of Now book. I wrote the chapter Stepping into the Colors of Now, and this is Dawn Mayer, who also wrote an amazing chapter, and I'd love her to talk about hers first because it's really adorable. So you want just to give it like a taste of what's going on with us. We're having a lot of fun, as you can see.
Yes, and we've been having a few technical challenges today as well. So, but yeah, so like you said, I'm Dawn Mayer, and I'm from Florida and Cape Canaveral. And my chapter is called It Isn't Rocket Science, or Is It? And the reason I have such a chapter title is because I was for 28 years a rocket scientist. I worked on the space shuttle as a software engineer for 28 years. And then when the shuttle program ended, I decided to become a massage therapist. And then I heard them, one of my students, not students, but classmates in massage school talk about access consciousness. And before I even heard any details, I decided I've got to get me some of that. And it's just been a wild roller coaster ride ever since then. And I definitely credit the Access tools with helping me get through a lot of it and giving me, I guess, kind of more of a sense of humor about how, this transition worked for me. And, people have asked me, well, how could you go from being so scientific and technical and all of that to what a lot of people would just say is the woo-woo stuff of, of life. And I always tell them, well, the reason I said it isn't rocket science, or is it? And like I said on the other blab was that, rocket science is about believing that something is more is possible than what a lot of other people believe. And so that's certainly what Access is all about, because it's just all that stuff that's out there that's really possible in life that we can see, that we know that there's so much more out there, but a lot of other people just don't believe it, or they don't see it, or they don't even try to look for it. And so that's pretty much what I wrote about, was how I kind of reconciled that, and then in going through that, all of the things that came up for me, they would have some of the major topics in Access over the last couple of years, things like hiding from what you truly are, and I was definitely doing that, definitely hiding out what I could do, not only from other people, but from myself too, because a lot of times you buy into the fact that, you can't do these things because everybody tells you that, and yet it's not really true, because, you buy into it, because other people tell you and you trust that that's what's going on. And so, I used a lot of the tools to get through that, like we talked about earlier, the return to sender and the, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And these are great tools that we talk about, various of us in the book. And if you're not familiar with them, definitely they are things that can really help you get rid of a lot of crap really fast. And pretty much that's what all of Access is for me, is that it just helps me get through things so much faster than anything else I have ever used. And I've been doing, things like spiritual practices since the early 90s, so for over 20 years. And Access, has really been the best thing I have ever found, and it just works amazingly well for me. So that's pretty much my chapter in a nutshell. How about yours, Mary? I know you were talking about money earlier today.
Well, my chapter is also my story, because I think that's the best way to be Access and really show what it does for us, is to actually be it. And people wonder, like, what is your story? Because when they see you and you're joyful at this point in your life, and think, you use tools that allow you to go through the things that would be more upsetting to other people, and possibly us too, maybe 3 or 5 or 7, 10, 20 years ago, they wonder. So being that example and saying, well, yeah, this is where I came from, because it's always been a journey, and it's never been smooth or fast. And I mentioned this morning how my journey's been long, and I've tried so many modalities, but I was definitely a seeker and sought the spiritual end of things, because I knew there was always something more to life. And I was brought up and raised a pretty strict Roman Catholic. And actually, I thought I might be a nun when I was about 16, 17, because I was in love with, knowing that God was so good, and I knew the good in everybody, but I just didn't know how to get that across and live it with the people around me who weren't living it. So I was in like a very conflictual universe where I knew what was possible, but nobody else did. And I really had to buy their point of view at the time, or I wouldn't have survived. So the interesting thing is, that's kind of like, so when I left that environment and started seeking, after I chose not to be a nun, I walked into, some transcendental meditation. And then I'm sitting there. This is a funny story, and I'll share this with everybody, because this shows you how what you say does manifest, especially when it's in alignment with your head and your heart. I'm meditating there for 20 minutes every morning and evening, because that's what transcendental meditation was at the time. I don't know what era that was, but it was kind of a pre-thing before I found my heavy-duty spiritual path. But the interesting thing is, it was 20 minutes, and I actually said to myself and to the universe, God, I said, I really love to meditate. This isn't long enough. And what occurred right after that, a couple of years, I ran into my spiritual path, which was meditating like 6 to 8 hours a day. So,
wow,
what you asked for. And to me, at the beginning, it was totally heaven. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I was a very high-strung person coming from New York area. Even though I lived on the island, I worked in New York City for 7 years. Well, I went to school for 2 years, became a textile designer, and was a freelance artist. But the rat race of the 9 to 5 back and forth, I was always different. So I went like 8 to 4, and took like a lunch hour from 2 to 3. I mean, it's really interesting. I had to be offbeat because I couldn't stand that routine of the matrix. So I was always a little bit out there. And when I did leave to the country, I did find that spiritual path, which was so interesting to me, because although I loved it so much, and I was on it for 28 years, and this is why I rave about Access and all the tools, is because the awareness with Access, just being aware of what you're thinking and the energy in the thoughts and how things change with the question, being in question, was so different than meditating and feeling, you felt that lightness, the cloud of love. It was wonderful. I would never judge that. I should have never done it. I'm very glad I did it. It was a wonderful journey for me personally. However, when I started doing the Access and the energy work associated with Access, which is called the bars energy work, the difference in the awareness and the lightness and the joy of knowing that we are more than just our body and our energy, we start to sense our energy, was not only just sensing the energy and that wrapping around the cloud like of being like in like a godland. It was awesome. It was awesome. I had the awareness of just everything around me, 360, and that never, ever had that experience in meditating. In fact, I was so focused on the cloud, and being in the cloud of meditating, that I didn't even realize what was going on in my own home, and that was really totally unawareness. And I don't even judge that, because it was a choice. I was unaware, and the choices that I made all those ways through. But this also has given me a sense of using the questions and the tools to create, like you were saying, the money. And I've had great fortune in being in weird places, matrix places with no money, no credit, and not being able to really know what I was going to do next, and coming and getting out of that space by asking questions like, what else is possible here? Because I knew from the beginning, I used some of these tools, that this was a tool, pragmatic tools, to actually navigate the matrix and create what we would like for ourselves. And the neat thing about Access is that it's all individual. I share questions and tools with people, but I don't tell them how they should live their life. They are going to use the tools to live their own life and create their own reality. And that's why I adore this book, because we all have such unique stories, although we're sharing our stories so people can really see that we chose the tools, and we're all using it through our unique ways of creating our life. And that's available to everybody. How does it get any better than this? How awesome is that? So this is why I'm in awe with Access Consciousness and the tools. I've been involved with it for a little over 3 years now. I was a bars facilitator, which is the energy work, for 2 years. And the last year of that, I said, I think I'd like to be a facilitator, a certified facilitator, and get more of the questions, get more of the processes, because it's a world of information, just to serve other people and yourself first, serve other people after you serve yourself. So I was curious, Dawn, how long have you found Access, and then up till next? I know we were in Costa Rica together at the Certified Facilitators class, the training, heavy duty training, which was fun.
Yeah, I started Access, it was May of 2012.
That's interesting. Same time I got my certificate. May 18th.
Cool. Yeah, I think mine was the 21st.
So we're kind of newish, really.
Yeah. Some people. But before we go any farther, I want to mention to people who are listening that, we've still got the book launch going on until midnight Pacific time. So if you want all the freebies and the chance to win a 30-minute session with one of us, that's going to go on for a few more hours. So go out to www.thecolorsofnow.com and buy the book on Amazon, and then mail in your receipt from it, and you'll be put in the drawing, and you'll also get all the bonus stuff. So.
Exactly. And it may be, you have to follow the directions on the page that when you buy the book, and it tells you what website to send it. And I'm in the process of seeing, when that will work. We've been having some technical glitches, so just keep looking at that and sending it in when it's available to change the page. Anyway, but everybody will be on it, because if you have a receipt, do not worry about that. So that's exciting. This energy, energy is one thing, and the technical, electronical stuff is another.
Yeah, it's been on and off all day today with, Amazon having problems and Twitter having problems, and but yet we still became a #1 bestseller in, 9 hours. And we're still improving our rating. I mean, the rating, actually, if you look at the number, it goes down, because we started at over a million this morning, and now we're down to 523.
That's closer to the top.
Yeah, which makes us closer to the top. Because I told my husband that, he said, "Well, why is it getting so bad?" And I said, "No. It's the opposite of what it should. You would think it would be."
Everything is opposite of what it appears, and not the opposite of what it appears. Doesn't that come in handy?
It does.
That really makes sense here. But we have the inside to it. It really does make sense with the energy. The energy knows, so you know what you know. And that's why I love Access, because it really confirms to people that they do know that they know, and it's just remembering it. And we know we have such capacities that are just waiting to be discovered because they're already in us. So this is something about.
And
Access.
we were talking about how long we've been in Access, and suddenly you're very slow, Mary. Uh-oh, she froze up. Wonder if she's dropped out. Well, until she comes back, at least for me, she's not in the Blab anymore. We do have, we lost Mary. We do have some prizes that we're giving away to people who may be online with us. So if you have bought the book and you send us an email, which I think you can just type it here in the, where it says type something cool. Up there, you're back.
Really? I disappeared. I have no clue. I didn't tell you I'm a magician. I come and I go.
Oh, it's pretty amazing. So anyway, I was just telling them about what we were giving away. And I said, if they just, we're down at the bottom here where it says type something, if they tell us that they've bought the book, that's probably the best way to let us know. And then we will, the first one that does that gets the free package from, it's Donna, right?
Donna on this one, yes.
Is doing the one right now. And I'll let you go over the details because you were talking to her about it, right?
No, I wasn't. I was asking if you could show up. The non-technical gal here has no clue.
Okay.
I just know it's a wonderful package.
Yes, it's a wonderful package.
Everything Donna does is wonderful.
Unfortunately, I forgot to write down the details of it because I just found out about it.
Now Donna can tell you about her giveaway. It's on my piece of paper, okay? Before she was going to be able to come, I know tonight. I know she has a daughter, and she may not have been able to make it tonight. So yes, I don't have a pull-up of, because I'm on my computer. I don't have the pull-up of what hers is called. But it's on that page when you go to the www.thecolorsofnow.com. It lists all propaganda.
She's frozen up again.
I know mine is going to be.
Oh. Yeah, you did. Now you're back, sort of.
Drop off? Oh, you're dropping off on me too. You sound tinny, and then I don't hear you, but I see your face. This is a weird technical night. I really apologize. But you know what? Like, we have control, right? Not over this.
Well, that's interesting. Anyway, so
Dawn, what is your giveaway in the book?
Is I have, through my website, ourawarenesscenter.com, a weekly clearing statement that I allow people to subscribe to. And then every week I send out a clearing statement, whether I've made it up or I've received it from somebody else or whatever. And so I've been doing this since January of 2014. So the thing that I'm giving away is that entire collection of statements. And Nilofer said she went through and counted all of them, and there were 88. So giving away.
That's awesome. That's awesome, because as you know, we use different ones at different times that just spark our just knowing that that's the one we like to say now, and they're just phenomenal. So I really appreciate that gift too. I'm gonna really enjoy it. And what I'm giving away, which is really interesting, it's just talking out. This is so cool to have a chat, talking out about it. I'm giving out the AM meditation. Now, who'd think, right? I'm the person that meditated for 28 freaking years of my life. And the interesting thing is, I guess I like a routine in the morning. I used to meditate as soon as I got up. That was an important part. And we got up really early. And I don't get up early now because I don't choose to. So, nobody's the boss of me anymore. And I really love it. However, I do sit after I have my coffee, and I just kind of I guess it's kind of centering myself, but not in the way of like trying to focus on anything or being in any kind of concrete space. I actually do a little exercise, which is expansion exercise, that you actually feel like you're vibrating above yourself, so you're not even on the ground. It's really cool. So you kind of like sense that you're balanced in an energy way, like the energy is balanced, but it's because energy keeps moving in a moving balance. It's really cool. And I can't start my day. It's just something I do. I've done it. I don't think I've missed a day in my life unless somebody dragged me out of bed and like there was a fire. I always center myself in that way. So I chose to do what I do with Access. And I had clients that kept saying, well, you keep saying you do these, I'm doing this and this, and my statements, which I'm not going to give away. I'll let people see, because I tell about the clearing statement, where to go to understanding what they mean. However, they asked me for it. So I ended up doing a clearing, AM meditation for a friend and a client. And when I did that, I realized this is valuable, because a lot of people need to know what it's like to make their own, if they choose to make their own, and they can use mine and actually get a nice thing from it, because they don't have to think about doing it, and they can just run it on a loop or whatever, just do it in the morning, just listening to it. And I also give the PDF version of the written out, so they have that to say and read it too, and they can make their own AM meditation or afternoon, whatever they choose to do also. So it's just slightly over 10 minutes, or slightly under 10 minutes. It's about a 10-minute thing. You could cut it down to 5 if you say it fast, or you could cut out things that don't apply to you. I thought that was really interesting, because now thinking about it, that's part of the basic things that I just am committed to me, honoring myself every morning to do for me. That's honoring myself every morning, because I choose. It makes me really start the day off amazing. What can I say? So I'm really excited about all the gifts. I'm going to get them too, because I'm going to send my receipt in.
I told my husband, I said, I went out and bought the book. He said, well, what did you buy it for? I said, I wanted to have it.
Yeah, 99 cents will really break anybody's bank, right?
But I am looking forward to when we have the hard copies, because I keep having people ask for hard copies, and that will be coming. And we've also talked about doing a book club with the book, where we would be having some sort of hangout, I don't know, periodically, where everybody would get together and we would talk about different chapters, or maybe read the chapter. And we've also talked about an audiobook. And so the possibilities just keep kind of expanding, all day long. When people say, well, how about this? Are you going to do this? And I think, oh, okay. And then somebody asked me, well, are you going to take your chapter and make it into an entire book? And I thought, oh, well, I could do that probably.
That's really cool you just said that, because like most of us are having a start with this chapter being our story. It's a great lead-in to talk about what else is possible in our lives and go the different direction that we've all chosen to go. So that I thought as well. So that is really cool, because is
because I mean, really, when we started this book, Nilofer was asking for people to help, contribute to the book, and she didn't really give. I said, well, what is the book going to be about? What do you want me to write about? And she said, well, it's called The Colors of Now. And that was pretty much the guidance that we got. And so it was really, as I'm looking at what everybody else wrote, I'm just thinking, wow, so that's what that meant to each of the other authors. And then what came out of it for me, and mine just kind of wrote itself, because I would just sit down and all these things would just start popping into my head, even if that wasn't what I had planned to put in there. And, it just kind of, suddenly it was done. And I thought, oh, okay. Because it got down to where, wow, I've only got like another 3 or 4 days till she wants this chapter. And then, boom, it was done.
I was
not that I, put things off.
Name of the book, The Colors of Now, because Access is so freaking fast.
Mm-hmm.
Acting, when you start using the tools, your life just expands really fast. I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm seeing Technicolor now. In the last 3 years, it's been crazy. The first year was awesome. I saw immediately expansion in just everything in my life. And it just got more expanded and more expanded and more expanded exponentially. I'm going, wow, when she said colors, I mean, I'm an artist. One of the things I choose to do in this lifetime, I'm everything. A lot of careers, but art was one of them. I have a body of 30 years of painting work behind me and around, and in people bottom and stuff like that. But colors to me is like visual artists. That's like the music to a musician. It's like the energy of life. It's the color, and I really saw the change as soon as I got into Access and used the tools. That my life was so much brighter, and I never was an unhappy person, even when I went through stuff that wasn't so nice. Okay, I've always been an optimist enough to know that I would get out of it and something would pop up. I just knew there was something would do it. I just didn't know how to say it, and I didn't know how to ask the questions. Now I actually know how to ask a question. I used to make statements with a question mark, and that just didn't work the same way. But I knew there was always something better, so I kept going for it. When we are seeking, we do find. So like my website is seekyourjoy.com, because I was seeking that joy that would stay all the time with me, and Access was just a tool that worked for me to have it stay and expand. So Colors of Now is like, I'm living in the now. I mean, seriously, I'm in the now. I cannot plan too far out. Seriously, I have it's more difficult for me to do that than just really just get involved in something and that would expand to something greater than I could ever thought of. So I'm understanding that a little bit, that having the trust that I can live in the now more. So it's just been really exciting. So I had to do the book. I said, this is definitely something that I'm interested in. So I didn't know what I was going to write about. You can't start here. You kind of have to go back where you came from, because it just doesn't really make sense. So I think it is a beginning for all of us to expand on what we have here. And that's awesome.
And the interesting thing that I found was that as I was trying to do that, trying to connect to what that was like, it's difficult now, because so much of it is just gone. As I've let go of all of that stuff that I had built up and was dragging along with me, it's kind of like it never happened, some of it. Or like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that happening, almost like it was a dream. Or like,
like kind of changing your past a little bit.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to reconnect to write this, and I'm thinking, okay, I kind of remember what that was like. Yeah. And I'm not a person who journals, so I couldn't go back and read journals or anything. I know some people who journal every single day, and I could just never get into that. But I was able to to bring up enough of it to tell the highlights of what happened.
That's basically what I did also, which I think is going to serve a lot more people too, just to get a taste of it, but not to go into any details if they're gory or not. But there's the fact that our lives have changed so much. It doesn't even, like, I have no judgment at all. And I really came from crisis. I mean, for a mom, I came from crisis, and that's all I'll say. And it's just interesting, and people go, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm going, no, that's okay. I'm who I am because I came from that. And looking back on it, even when I was going through it never depressed me. It did shock me, but it didn't depress me. And it just made me forge ahead and seek something better all the time. I was looking for, it's going to be better tomorrow. Everything gets better. And it did. So, it's really interesting, but I think that's what we've all done. But people have to know that it wasn't all roses and peaches for us, when we're born. We didn't come out being just this amazing, happy person that just lived through life. Because if people meet me now, they just say, how come you're so happy? I choose to be.
Yeah, there you go.
But, it's a very honest happiness, because it's more of a joy. It doesn't go away. It really doesn't. And stuff happens to me. It really does. And it's like, okay, it doesn't affect me the same way, because I have these tools, and I have expanded with the energy work. I think that's a nice part of it, which I think people will start picking up from reading the book. So I hope you get your book tonight. The expensive price of 99 cents.
That's right. Yeah, somebody posted on, well, what's it about? I need to know more. And I said, it's only 99 cents.
Exactly.
For all of the stuff that you get from it, it's an amazing price. for all of the tools that we have put in there. And
the tools are priceless, and you'll get all of them for 99 cents. Yeah.
Plus all the bonuses. So how can you go wrong?
And it just keeps getting better and better, guys. Yeah. And what else is possible from this time on? Because we're expanding. Everything now has changed from when we first got on. Every energy changes every second. And we don't realize how much we're always moving forward to our desires, what we love, alignment with what we came here to do, what we enjoy. You know, every choice we make expands. So nothing stays the same. So how does it get any better than this? It just keeps getting better and better. We asked that question just to blow your mind. I mean, we don't expect an answer, we expect an awareness. And if things are really going crappy for you and you say, how's it getting better than this? Well, your mind just can't even understand that. So it sits in the back, you know, the reptilian mind just sits in that back seat and takes a nap because it can't get it anyway because it's just not smart enough. And the energy will switch on you, which will allow you to get out of that space that you didn't like. And then if something great nice comes to you and you say, how's it getting better than this? Well, it's just going to get better. It's just going to really surprise you the next time around. And that's awesome. And I'm sure every author in this book could be a testament to that one, hands down.
Exactly, because you know it's creating that invitation to the universe to say, "Oh, here you go. There's this. Would you like that?" And you know that's the thing that I love about it is that it's just opening up to all the possibilities that are out there that you were doing the blinders and weren't seeing. So as you break that down, you know, you invite all those doors to open and or even just fall down, and there's all that stuff out there that you never even thought about and never considered was ever going to be possible for you. But you know, once you ask the universe to do it, there it is. Yeah. And that has been one of the most amazing things for me, between that and the one, who does this belong to, so that you can let go of the stuff that's not yours.
Yeah. That's how connected we are to everyone around us and their energy. We are psychic sponges. We take it all on. And most of us are very empaths anyway. We care so much about people. We take it on that we think it's ours, and then it messes us up. And now with the who does this belong to? Oh, wow. It's not yours.
Exactly. Just let it go.
And let it go.
Because we take on so much stuff for everybody else, whether it's that we think we're going to deal with it for them, or just that we think because it's there, it's ours. Exactly. And you know, those things are that you can just let go of that and not be stuck with it and keep carrying it with you. That's a really phenomenal thing too.
So do we have anybody that's has their receipt available that we can give that prize to? If we I don't see anything in I just see people that joined. When I typed you, do you see something, Dawn? When I typed you saw my stuff, right?
Yes.
Because you make a host seat right now, because mine says H, but I don't think that means anything. Because I don't know. I know I turned the recording on.
Okay, so you may just have a recording of one of us sitting here looking like we don't know what we're doing.
You have a recording button on your end?
Yeah.
Have you recorded it on your end?
No, I wasn't able to.
Oh, no, it's recording then.
Okay.
Okay, it better be, otherwise.
Well, I think you're still the host, so I think you still have the record.
Okay, yeah, it was really weird because I'm sitting here for the first like 5-6 minutes going, Dawn, do you hear me? I see you, but I don't hear you.
And all I had was this little pulsing picture of you that said, waiting on Mary.
Oh, wow. And you were pulsing your awareness center as a blah, 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 and I'm going, Dawn, don't you know I'm here? And I'm typing in here. It was interesting, but anyway, I think we'll be heading out. I'm really sorry we didn't get a chance to have Dawn on, because that would have been fun, because it is her present to give out. Yeah, I don't.
Well, if anybody is watching us and you email it into, well, if you go out to thecolorsofnow.com, and there's an email address that you send your receipt to. If you also send another email to that, I think, saying that you watched us at 9 o'clock, yes, then whoever we receive that from first, we will send you the prize.
That's right. We'll tell Nilofer, actually, we'll email her so she'll know that person who sent it in first from this Blab will definitely get Donna's giveaway. Right. That is done, guys. So you have some time till.
That's right. We still have about another 5 hours.
That's right. Yeah. I couldn't stay up till the first Blab this morning, but I'm going to probably be up till the end of this whole thing because I think this is just so.
I almost got on the first one. I woke up, but then I didn't do anything. I decided, I think I'll lay here, and I started doing access body processes on myself. So.
Well, that's one thing really wonderful about this whole thing too, guys. The pragmatic tools and processes you can do on yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing every day. That's what I do for myself, is I do body processes on myself every day. So.
That's right. So that's honoring you and everybody, if you could get this, if you just do one thing a day that honors you, that you love to do, you're telling your higher self, which we call the universe, God, whatever you choose to name it or whatever, is honoring you, and more amazing stuff comes to you. You get gifted more and more when you take the time to honor yourself. Yeah. Wow. And that's why I do my AM meditation. I do processes also on myself, like some of the little kink in my body. I put my hand in my own body. I do my own thing. It's like, I love myself. I'm getting to that place more and more now, understanding what that means. Yes, you love yourself. Well, do you really love yourself? How do you treat yourself? Do you talk to yourself? Talk is pleasant to yourself, or is it very not pleasant, like judgmental? So the little things we could do every day that just show ourselves that we honor ourselves will just expand. And then when we notice that, then we see a little bit of happiness in that, or joy, deep joy in that. We just, we'll get more of it. And then when we see more of it, we just celebrate that we actually are creating this as we go and give ourselves the credit. That's honoring ourselves too. I think that's huge. And I'm finally getting that now after 3 years doing this work. I'm finally getting it. I thought I understood it the first year.
You get it when you get it.
I'm getting it now, though, because there's just no way I'm turning back.
And I don't think I could.
So, what else is possible? And that's not one of the possibilities. Going forward and creating whatever is.
Yeah. So
thank you, Dawn, for being here.
And if you want to do something really good for yourself, go out to thecoloursofnow.com, buy the book, get all the tools, use them, set yourself free. Yeah. And
it's all free, up for 99 cents.
How can you go wrong? All right.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up with them. Thank you for showing up for you. And thank you, Dawn, for sharing this with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mary.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.